Two. All right, what's going on, everybody? Coach Willis here from Willis Performance Training, and I am joined by one of the best ever do it in this sport, representing Kennesaw Mountain Lacrosse High School program, University of Michigan commit, Mr. Ben Hull. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming on, man. And like I was just saying, let's talk a little bit about lacrosse and your whole journey to where you've gotten to, and your let's get some thoughts on your ideas behind or your opinions about how the game has changed and what it's evolving to and what it takes to play at that level. But they want to know. People might want to know who you are. So tell us a little bit about your accolades, your background, what you're doing, where you're going next year.
All right, so I'm going to the University of Michigan next year for lacrosse, and in high school, my season got cut short this year, but I was an All-American last year. I made the All-State team all 4 years. I have the single season goal record for goals in a year for the state. All of the school records, goals for a career and single season goals, assists, total points. This one's probably one of the most important ones to me is I was a 4-year captain. So even my freshman year, I got voted a captain by my teammates, which that probably means the most out of any of those accolades, just because that's one of those, what other people say about you and what you meant to the team and all that. And it's pretty much it for, my high school accolades for lacrosse. And I'll be, like I said, I'll be going to the University of Michigan next year. So that's the accolades.
That's what's up, man. And that's a lot of accolade to go behind. I mean, you say that very modestly, like very low key, which is cool. You're very humble about it. But I mean, what does it take to do that? Because there's a lot of kids who play lacrosse. Not everybody can be a captain for all 4 years and break the scoring record and be an All-American, which means you're not just the best in the school or the region. You're the best in the country at what you do. So, I mean, how does that happen?
I think the biggest thing is just consistency with, everything you do. Whether it's, it really is the little things. For me with lacrosse, it was no matter what day, what month, off season, in season, it's, having that training and plan. Whether, it's in the gym working with you, which has definitely been one of the most crucial things to that, in the off season, getting ready for the season, in season training with you, attacking all aspects of my game. I can't say enough about your program and the stuff that's helped me with that. It's taken my game to the next level, 110%. And on the lacrosse side of it, like I said, consistency, it's all about every single day, every week, you got to be doing the same stuff, hitting the wall, going out and shooting, doing some speed and agility, staying in great shape, and, just always being the best player you can be. And, a lot of people think in the off season, oh yeah, I'm out of season now. I can, relax, kick back. And personally, I think off season is the most important time because in season, you're practicing every single day. Obviously, you're going to be getting better, but you can only do so much in that, that time frame. For me, the off season is a time for me to get bigger, stronger, faster, work on the things that in season I might not have the time to do because I have a 2-hour practice, I'm in school, I have, so much going on. And, I think the biggest thing for, whether it's younger athletes or people my age that are trying to get to that next level, it's, quite frankly, just working your ass off and, just know somebody else is out there working just as hard as you. And for me, I can honestly say I've always had that motivation, and I've never had to, say like, oh, what I want to go work out, because I love it. That's what I'm passionate about. That's my favorite thing to do. So the biggest thing for me was, again, it's just that consistency of always working when nobody else is watching. So what you do when nobody else is watching is a direct correlation to what you do on the field when everybody's in the stands and everybody's watching you.
Oh, that's 100. I couldn't agree with you more. That's like my philosophy on life right there. And, that's what I'm always trying to preach to all you guys when you come into the facility or when I'm working with you over there. And, it takes some kids a longer time to understand that aspect of the game. But, the sooner you understand that, the better off you'll be. And, again, I don't want to keep, hawking on this point, but you're really good at what you do. And, you're really serious about it. You're playing at the next level. At what age were you when you were like, this is what I want to do? Like, I'm devoted to this to the utmost. Like, this is me? When did that happen?
I don't know that there was a distinct moment where I was just like, this is it. I think it was probably once I got into middle school, and when I was younger, I started when I was 6 years old. And so my dad played in college, my mom played in college. So as growing up, I had lacrosse in my family and everything. So, my parents were always helping me out and, pushing me. And I think I always played up. So like when I was 8 years old, I was playing with like the 11-year-old team. And then I think when I finally got to middle school, and you kind of, it's that like, it is a big step when you go from 5th grade, 6th grade, middle school, making that change. You got to grow up a little bit. I think that once I kind of hit that, it kind of hit me like I'm in high school in a couple of years. Like, what do I want to be doing? And, lacrosse, since I was little, was my favorite thing to do. And I can say that I was on those teams. I was always one of the best kids out there. And I fell in love with the game. And I'd like to think I was doing pretty good at it. And I think, slowly it turned into, wow, maybe I can go play Division I. And, that drive and that motivation to do that kicked in. And, it just took off. And lacrosse was, my thing from then on. That was my favorite thing to do. It was what I started working for. And then up until, 8th grade, the whole early recruiting process for lacrosse is insane. Luckily, they changed that with their new rules. But so I was going into my 8th grade year, and that summer was like the big summer to get recruited. And, of course, I'm still a 14-year-old kid. And I'm like, oh, my God, it'd be so awesome to play Division I. That's like my dream. And then when it all started happening and these schools started reaching out to me, I think that was probably, if there was a defining moment, I think that was the moment that I was like, it sunk in, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And I actually have a realistic shot at doing it.
Almost deaf. And, that makes sense that you said that there wasn't like a specific point in time when you realized like, this is what I want to do. But it sounds like you had already instilled a habit of just, like you said earlier, being consistent and working hard all the time. So when you did get to that point, you had already most of the tools in the shed already of just like working hard regardless, and, being better than I was yesterday. That was already like instilled in your head. So it's like you set yourself up for success that entire time in the process.
Yeah, for me, I mean, when I was in 6th, 7th grade or elementary school, whatever it was, of course, being recruited to go play Division I, that wasn't what was on my mind. That was such a dream for me. I wasn't really thinking that much about it. It was just being the competitor of, I want to be the best. I want to be able to go on the field and school these kids. And that was what kind of drove me to just always be practicing, working out, doing what I have to do. And then now that, like I'm going to Michigan next year, my motivation right now is, my season just got cut short, which sucks, but it is what it is. Nothing anybody can do about it. So now my motivation is, well, I leave for Michigan in August. Let me get in the best shape of my life and do whatever I can to prepare for that, because that's what's ahead of me.
That's right. Either glass is half empty or half full. Period. Yeah. You can't, it's all about how you look through the lens, man. That's the attitude to have. And, this, which brings me to my next question. And I'm going to ask you this. I haven't asked you this before, but I want you to answer this. So do you consider yourself more talented, or do you consider yourself more hardworking?
Hardworking for sure. Because I'm not the biggest, strongest, fastest, most gifted person. There's plenty of people out there that step on a lacrosse field that might have picked up the stick last week, and they can beat me to that spot. They're more athletic than me. I think that truly, I mean, I'd like to think I'm athletic, but I am by far not the biggest, best athlete on the field. It's what I talked about earlier about behind the scenes, working hard, dedicating, being consistent to my craft. That has helped me the most.
And all of that is directly in your control. Would you agree? Like, you can't control
Yep.
Right now. Makes sense. And, we're going through this whole worldwide health crisis right now. Everything is pretty much shut down. Schools are closed down. You can't go to practice. That means you're not going to have a coach on your ass about doing this and that. And the reality of it is not every single athlete on the team has your mentality. And I just actually wrote a post not too long ago talking about how this period of time is really going to reveal a lot of character in these athletes that are your age, who are 15, 16, 17 years old, who might constantly have to have somebody on their ass to push them. Now,
Yeah.
we're kind of at home. You're at the mercy of, video games and whatnot, sitting on the couch and stuff all day.
Yep.
What is your take on that? What do you do to stay motivated and during a time like this? And what do you see happening for kids who need a pat on the ass all the time,
Yeah.
and not going to get that now?
Well, for me, like I said earlier, right now my mindset is working for Michigan, and I have, that thing dangling over me, kind of keeping me motivated. And so, for the kids that, don't have that thing that they're looking at, like, I need to be ready for this. It's kind of, you got to look in the mirror and say, what do I want? If you want to just be, average, you want to just go play, have fun, that's great. You don't have to wake up, go run, go work out. But if you truly are serious and you want to take your game to the next level, this is honestly the perfect time to get that extra workout in, get that lift, that run, whatever it is, because what else do you have to do? This is actually a true time. I have been on the same plan for probably the last week and a half, 2 weeks since all this happened. I wake up, eat breakfast, go for a run, come back, maybe eat lunch, then go get a lift in, come back, go in my backyard, maybe just hit the wall, pass a little bit. Because at the end of the day, even like I was shooting the other day and I was tired, end of the day, and I was about to just call it a day. And I was like, I don't have anything else to do. And I sit out there for another hour, just, working out, trying to, better my craft and just really do everything I can to keep working. And during this time, you can honestly say that you do not have anything better to do. So during this time, I think a lot of people, you just got to, have that mindset of, listen, things are terrible right now. It's not ideal, but make the best out of the situation for yourself.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Kind of reminds me of, me personally, one of my favorite athletes of all time was Kobe Bryant. Mamba mentality. You always heard him talk about Mamba mentality, which not only applies to being an athlete and going and practicing games hard, but just in life in general. Because you can be a business owner right now and point fingers about why this is happening and stuff like this, or you can just like, okay, just like you said, take this time to really analyze what you have going on and find ways to make it better despite the circumstance, or take advantage of the circumstance and make it better. And one of the things Kobe spoke of in an interview he did actually not too long before his passing was about how he spent so many hours, like he would already be in the basketball arena. And there's so many stories about his work ethic, how he would be in the basketball arena, 4 or 5 in the morning and had already put up 5,000 shots and stuff before practice came. And his whole explanation behind that was, hey, if I put in this amount of work every single day, I know that I'm going to get at least 2 to 3 times better than everybody else who's playing against me, because they might wake up at 8, do their training, go to practice for a couple hours a day, have one other practice in the afternoon. But if I already have my practices before they set foot on the court the first time for the day, that means over a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year period, I do that consistently, then my game should be 5-10 times better than everyone else's.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is your opinion on that? I mean, how do you see yourself relating to that in your situation?
I 100% agree with that. I mean, it's like I keep saying, consistency. It's about, you don't just decide to work hard and you do that for a week or a month and then you decide, oh, I put in the work, I'm ready to go perform. But like I said about the off season and everything, for months, years, let that build up and it becomes habit. Like now, I'm at the point where since I've been in high school, working out is just natural to me. So if I go a couple days without working out, I feel weird. I feel lazy because it's just a habit now. So you surround yourself and you create a habit out of working hard, that becomes who you are. And like you were just saying about, over years and years, you're going to become 5, 6 times better than these guys. You continuously, religiously, you sit there and you have your routine, you keep working. It's going to pay off in the end.
Sounding very Tom Brady-esque right now, Ben. Sounding very Tom Brady-esque right now. Very Tom Brady-esque. I love it.
I hope I can do half what he did. So
he's the man. He's the man.
Yep.
And then, before we wrap it up, what piece of advice do you have for, maybe a younger lacrosse player, freshman, sophomore? They're going through this whole crisis right now. They can't access the field. What advice do you have to those guys who are still trying to leave a footprint in the game and play at the next level?
Number one is just ideal. Like, obviously you don't have a field or a team you can go practice with, but there's always something you can do. Like, I have a brick wall above my garage. You can play wall ball with that. Like, the little things. And even if you don't have access to that, then, find another outlet of way to get yourself better, whether that's going on some runs, doing the workout in your garage with whatever you have. You can do something to help yourself, better yourself as an athlete and then as a lacrosse player. Because like I said earlier about with me and you and the work we've put in, is that we've never touched a lacrosse stick, a lacrosse ball, nothing. But it has made me such a better lacrosse player because it's a direct correlation to the game. The speed and agility, the weights, everything, and there's just so much you can do. I can never say, I don't think I've ever been able to, and I never will be able to say that there's nothing I can do to like get better. I can always do something. And during this time, there's always going to be something, and you got to find that. And if you truly want to take your game to the next level, you will find what that is and how you can help yourself.
Hey, man, you got me fired up over here. I'm about to do like some push-ups for real. So, you fired up. In closing, this was your last year at Kennesaw Mountain High School.
Yep.
Okay. What is the legacy that you would like to leave behind for the Mustangs?
For me, it's all about, my team and the coaches and everybody that was involved with our program is, I was talking to some of the underclassmen that were on varsity this year and about a week ago, and they were talking about the season and, they talked about how the first thing they said to me is which I don't worry about any of this. That's least of my concern is they were saying how like, oh yeah, Ben, weren't you, I don't know the exact number. It was I was on pace to break another state record. And I was like, yeah, listen, that's not what I'm worried about. What I hope that, since my season's done, I hope what I did for you guys is I showed you the way. I showed you how to come in every day, work, how to be a leader, what to do to help your team. So I hope that all my teammates, coaches, I just hope I had a positive impact on them. So when I leave, I don't want to be remembered by, oh, yeah, that kid, oh, he could score, he helped us out in so many games. I'd much rather, be like, you know what, he was the captain of our team and, he was crucial to just, the leadership, helping on our team on a daily basis. I hope there's 10, 20, I hope every single kid on the team can say, have a memory of, oh yeah, I remember Ben was here for me on this, or Ben helped me with this. That's what's really important to me.
Well, Ben, you definitely, for your age, wise beyond your years. Your way, I think your maturity level is something that is hopefully contagious to your peers and your teammates around you, but it's definitely something that, as a mature adult, I see it as just like, you have a lot to bring to the table. And kudos to Michigan for recognizing something great when they do. I think you're a tremendous investment for that team, and you're going to continue to grow that program. So, Ben, I appreciate your time tonight, man. This was like really, really good, and I'm excited to share this with other kids and other athletes so they can see not only just lacrosse players, but anybody, because what you said tonight is brilliant. So I appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Coach.
No problem, man. I'll be seeing you soon.
I'll see you tomorrow. We're working out tomorrow.
We're gonna get out. We're gonna get out there.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you.